Hidden in pockets, drawers, and couch cushions are tiny pieces of history, Lincoln pennies. Some are ordinary, but a few are worth a fortune, and you might already own one. Make sure to watch till the end, because you won't believe just how valuable these pennies can be. Imagine holding a simple penny in the palm of your hand. It's small, copper-colored, lightweight, and easy to overlook. You've probably tossed dozens of them into jars, drawers, or even left them behind on a counter without a second thought. But what if I told you that one ordinary-looking penny from 1970 could be worth more than a luxury car, more than many people earn in an entire year, and in some cases, as much as $84,000? That's not a myth, not an exaggeration, and not a collector's fantasy. It's a real piece of American history hiding in plain sight. The year 1970 was a time of transition in the United States. The country was facing cultural change, political tension, and economic uncertainty. The Vietnam War was ongoing, protests filled the streets, and the nation was redefining itself in countless ways. Yet while history books focus on presidents, protests, and pop culture, another story was quietly unfolding inside U.S. Mint facilities. Millions of pennies were being struck every single day, destined for circulation, unnoticed and uncelebrated. Among them was a small number of coins that would eventually become legendary. The 1971 cent coin, commonly known as the Lincoln penny, continued a design that had already become deeply embedded in American identity. Abraham Lincoln's profile, first introduced in 1909 to honor the 100th anniversary of his birth, remained proudly displayed on the front. His calm, steady expression seemed to watch over a nation in flux. By 1970, Americans had seen this face on their pennies for generations, and familiarity bred indifference. On the reverse side, the Lincoln Memorial stood tall, a symbol of unity and remembrance. This design had replaced the wheat stalks in 1959, modernizing the penny while still honoring the legacy of Lincoln. If you look closely, you can even see a tiny statue of Lincoln seated inside the memorial, making this one of the few U.S. coins to feature the same person on both sides. The majority of 1970 pennies were minted in Philadelphia and Denver. Those produced in Denver carry the small but crucial D Mint mark beneath the date. The Denver Mint was operating at full capacity, striking massive quantities of cents to meet the demands of everyday commerce. These coins flowed endlessly into circulation and gradually became worn, scratched, darkened, and forgotten. But here's where the story takes an unexpected turn. Among the countless 1970 D pennies produced, a very small number were struck with a subtle but important difference known today as the 1970 D small date variety. At first glance, it looks nearly identical to a regular 1970 D penny. But to trained collectors, the differences are unmistakable. The 7 in the date appears more level and delicate, the 9 is positioned slightly higher, and the overall date looks tighter and more refined. For years, these small date pennies circulated right alongside their common counterparts. They passed through countless hands, mixed into rolls, jars, and pocket change. No one imagined that a Denver minted penny, something so ordinary, could be hiding a secret. It wasn't until collectors began studying Lincoln cents more carefully that the mystery started to unfold. As comparisons were made between different 1970 D pennies, sharp-eyed enthusiasts noticed inconsistencies. Slowly, the realization set in that there were two distinct varieties, and one was far scarcer than the other. As more research was done, the truth became undeniable. The 1970 D small date penny was genuinely rare, especially in high-grade condition. While millions of 1970 D pennies exist, only a tiny fraction were struck with the small date design, and even fewer survived without heavy wear. What makes this coin so valuable isn't just its age. Pennies from the early 1900s can be valuable, but age alone doesn't create a five-figure price tag. What matters here is a perfect storm of rarity, condition, collector demand, and the difficulty of finding an example that escaped circulation damage. Collectors are obsessed with condition, and when it comes to modern coins, the standards are unforgiving. Any scratch, discoloration, or weak strike can dramatically reduce value. But when a 1970 small date penny surfaces with blazing original luster, sharp details, and virtually no flaws, it becomes something extraordinary. This is where professional grading services like PCGS and NGC enter the story. These organizations authenticate and grade coins under strict standards, sealing them in protective holders. When a 1970 small date penny receives an exceptionally high grade, it instantly becomes one of the most desirable modern Lincoln cents in existence. Over the years, auction results have shocked even seasoned numismatists. When a high-grade 1970 small date penny appears on the market, bidding can escalate rapidly. Collectors understand that opportunities like this may never come again. What's truly fascinating is how unassuming this coin remains. It's not gold. It's not silver. It's not large or flashy. It's a single copper penny that once blended in with billions of others. And now we come to the moment that makes the 1970 penny legendary. In recent high-profile auctions, a top-grade 1970 small date Lincoln cent has sold for an astonishing amount. Not hundreds. Not thousands. But up to $84,000. Now let's move on to another penny that looks just as ordinary at first glance, yet carries a story so rare and unexpected that it has continued to amaze collectors for years. The year 1980 came and went without any sense of importance attached to its coinage. Pennies from this period were everywhere, produced in staggering numbers and handled with little care. They moved rapidly from one transaction to the next, rarely examined, rarely saved, and almost never considered valuable. No one at the time suspected that a coin from this year would one day become one of the most talked about modern cent discoveries. People saw them as everyday objects, something that existed only to facilitate transactions, never imagining that a single penny could tell a story far greater than its face value. Behind the scenes, however, the minting process was far more complex than most people realized. Multiple denominations were being produced simultaneously, each requiring different metal compositions and carefully prepared blanks. The pressure to maintain efficiency was intense. Even a brief lapse in control could allow the wrong blank to enter a production line. When that happened, the result was a coin that technically should not exist, a mistake that history would later turn into treasure. The legendary 1980 penny owes its status to exactly this kind of production anomaly. It was struck on a bronze planchet that did not belong in cent production at that time. Its metal composition was subtly but significantly different from standard 1980 cents. The weight did not match expectations, and the overall surface tone and reflectivity were slightly off. These differences were easy to overlook unless someone knew exactly what to look for, which is why it could circulate unnoticed for years. For a long time, coins like this passed quietly through the hands of everyday Americans. Some may have been used as regular change, lost in pockets or under couch cushions. Others were set aside as odd pennies, their unusual appearance noted but not fully understood. Few realized that these anomalies were far more than cosmetic quirks. They were surviving remnants of a rare minting event, a tiny window into the production process that could never be repeated. Everything changed when a verified example finally received serious attention. Specialists subjected it to rigorous analysis, measuring its weight down to fractions of a gram, examining the metal under magnification, and comparing it to known standards for that year. Each test confirmed the same astonishing conclusion: this penny was struck on the wrong metal and had slipped through the mint's quality control undetected. It was genuine, it was rare, and it was extraordinary. Once news of the discovery spread, the collecting community reacted with excitement and curiosity. Error coin enthusiasts, long aware that mistakes in modern coinage could be valuable, quickly recognized the importance of this find. Unlike other errors that appeared occasionally, this one was fundamentally different, a minting anomaly that proved modern coins could still hold immense rarity. Interest surged, yet the actual number of verified examples remained extremely small, making each surviving coin a coveted prize. Condition elevated the coin even further. Because these coins were never intended to survive, most examples show signs of wear or discoloration. Finding one that retained crisp details, clean surfaces, and minimal blemishes is extraordinarily rare. When a high-grade example came to light, its value instantly jumped, distinguishing it from every other coin struck that year. Collectors understood that a coin in this condition might be the only one they would ever see in their lifetimes. Private transactions began to reflect its scarcity and importance. Each transfer of ownership was more than just a sale, it was recognition of a piece of minting history. As the story of the 1980 penny circulated among serious collectors, its reputation grew. Experts and enthusiasts alike marveled at how something so small, so seemingly insignificant, could become a symbol of rarity, chance, and historical curiosity all at once. What makes this penny's story so compelling is its serendipitous survival. It wasn't set aside intentionally, nor was it celebrated when it was minted. It passed unnoticed through the hands of countless Americans until someone with the knowledge and expertise realized its significance. A coin that could easily have been lost forever instead became a modern legend, reminding collectors that history can hide in the most ordinary places. And now we reach the moment that truly cements the 1980 penny's place in numismatic history. When a confirmed example in outstanding condition changed hands among top-level collectors, the final figure far exceeded expectations. Not hundreds. Not thousands. Every detail of its history, rarity, and condition contributed to the incredible value that was realized. The penny's worth reached $71,000. A single penny from 1980, once overlooked, once doubted, transformed into a $71,000 rarity, proving that even the most ordinary years, and the most seemingly insignificant coins, can contain extraordinary surprises waiting to be discovered. The next penny we're going to explore comes from 1988, a year that might seem ordinary at first glance. To most people, a 1988 penny is just a piece of change, something that jingles in pockets, hides in drawers, or accumulates in jars. On the surface, it looks mundane, unremarkable, and easily overlooked. Yet for coin collectors, a small number of these coins have quietly earned attention because they carry hidden qualities that make them far more interesting than their face value suggests. 1988 was not a year of design changes for the Lincoln cent. Abraham Lincoln's profile remained on the obverse, looking as familiar as it had for decades, while the reverse featured the Lincoln Memorial, unchanged from previous years. To the casual observer, this penny blended seamlessly into everyday life. It was uniform, predictable, and ordinary. And yet, history and rarity sometimes hide in the most unassuming places. What makes certain 1988 pennies special is the possibility of errors that occurred during the minting process. Mistakes like double dies, off-center strikes, repunched mint marks, or planchets with slight composition differences were extremely rare. The mint produced millions of coins each day, and the quality control measures were strict, which means that any coin showing such irregularities was likely an accident, a tiny anomaly that slipped through unnoticed. These errors are often subtle, and the untrained eye may not recognize them, which is why many of these coins remain hiding in plain sight, tucked away in jars, rolls, or coin collections. Collectors who specialize in modern Lincoln cents know that spotting these anomalies requires patience and a careful eye. A small misalignment in the strike, a faint doubling of the date or letters, or even a slightly off-center design can instantly separate an ordinary coin from one that warrants closer examination. Even the tiniest irregularity can transform a coin from something ordinary into something worth preserving. Condition is another crucial factor. Even a coin with a rare error may not hold significance if it has been heavily worn, scratched, or corroded. On the other hand, a 1988 penny that has been preserved in near-perfect condition, retaining its original luster, sharp details, and crisp edges, can be extraordinarily rare. These well-preserved examples provide a glimpse of what the coin looked like the day it was struck at the mint. They are the kinds of coins that collectors prize above all others, not just for their rarity, but for their pristine state and visual appeal. Because of the combination of rarity, errors, and condition, it's wise to examine every 1988 penny before spending or discarding it. Look closely at the date and mint mark, examine the edges, and study the details of Lincoln's profile as well as the Lincoln Memorial on the reverse. Even minor differences, unusual spacing, or unexpected marks can indicate a coin that is more than just pocket change. In some cases, coins that appear ordinary at first glance turn out to be some of the most exciting finds in a collector's experience. Interestingly, some of the most sought-after examples from 1988 have subtle features that could easily be mistaken for normal wear or imperfections. Slight doubling on the date, a faint line on the lettering, or irregularities in the strike are easy to miss without careful inspection. This is why serious collectors often use magnifying lenses, proper lighting, and reference guides when examining modern pennies, even those that are just a few decades old. The story of the 1988 penny also serves as a reminder that rarity can come from the most unexpected sources. Unlike coins from the early 1900s, where age alone may contribute to value, modern pennies rely on unusual minting events, error patterns, and exceptional preservation. A coin that is ordinary to the untrained eye can turn out to be extraordinary once these factors are identified and understood. If you come across a 1988 penny, take a moment to examine it closely. Check for double dies, off-center strikes, unusual mint mark placements, or even minor imperfections that seem out of place. Study the metal and the strike quality. Even a tiny irregularity could indicate a coin that belongs in a collection rather than a cash register. Something seemingly mundane could hold secrets that make it worth saving. In addition, pay attention to subtle variations in color and sheen. Some examples may show slightly brighter surfaces or unusual toning that hints at a unique history. Notice the edges carefully, as even minor inconsistencies can reveal something rare. Comparing it to other pennies from the same year can also help reveal anomalies that are otherwise easy to miss. These small clues, when combined, can signal a coin of exceptional interest. Ultimately, the 1988 penny reminds us that history, rarity, and surprises can be found in the smallest of places. A coin that looks ordinary today may reveal its true value tomorrow. It is a lesson in curiosity, observation, and patience, qualities that every collector must embrace. So before you spend, toss, or overlook a 1988 penny, remember to examine it carefully. What appears simple on the surface may hide a story of rarity, condition, and minting error, a story that has quietly survived for decades, waiting for someone to recognize it. Moving on to the 1998 D penny, a coin that might seem completely ordinary to most people. It's the kind of coin you find jingling in pockets, hiding in drawers, or sitting forgotten in jars and rolls. Its familiar copper color, small size, and classic Lincoln design make it easy to overlook. Yet hidden within some of these pennies is a rarity so remarkable that collectors have been captivated by it for years. What appears to be a simple piece of change can actually hold a fascinating secret. The D mint mark tells us that this coin was struck at the Denver Mint, one of the busiest facilities in the United States. In 1998, Lincoln's profile remained on the obverse, as it had for decades, a symbol of continuity and familiarity. The reverse continued to feature the Lincoln Memorial, unchanging and timeless. Nothing about the design hints at the unusual events that occasionally occurred during production, events that would make certain coins extraordinary. What makes this particular penny so intriguing is a rare minting error known as a double die. During production, the die used to strike the coin sometimes shifted ever so slightly between impressions. This caused a subtle doubling effect, often visible in the date or on key inscriptions such as "Liberty" or "In God We Trust." To most people, the coin looks perfectly normal, but to collectors who know what to look for, the difference is unmistakable. Over time, dedicated enthusiasts began comparing thousands of 1998 D pennies and noticed this anomaly. The doubling is often faint but consistent, making the coin stand apart from millions of ordinary pennies. It's the kind of error that could easily go unnoticed by someone who isn't carefully examining each detail. Many of these coins circulated for years without anyone realizing their uniqueness, blending seamlessly with everyday change. Condition plays an equally crucial role in determining the significance of this penny. Many coins lose their potential value due to wear, scratches, or discoloration. But a 1998 D penny that retains sharp details, original luster, and flawless surfaces becomes extraordinarily rare. When an error coin survives in near-perfect condition, it transforms from a curiosity into a collector's treasure. Collectors know the thrill of discovering one of these pennies in circulation or among other coins. Identifying it requires careful examination, sometimes with magnification, and a deep understanding of what subtle anomalies to look for. Every doubled line, slight misalignment, and unusual detail can signal a coin of exceptional interest. These features, though small, are what separate a regular penny from a coin with historical significance and rarity. The rarity of this coin is further magnified by the fact that very few have survived in top condition. Many may have been lost, spent, or damaged over the years, making well-preserved examples exceptionally scarce. The combination of the unusual double die error and pristine preservation is what has elevated the 1998 D penny to legendary status among modern Lincoln cents. Collectors also appreciate the story behind the coin. Unlike rare coins from the early 1900s, where age alone can add value, this penny's appeal comes from a modern minting mistake, carefully preserved over decades. It demonstrates how even recent coins can hold secrets waiting to be discovered. Every detail of this penny tells a story of chance, precision, and survival. The journey of a 1998 D penny from the Denver Mint to a collector's hands can be astonishing. Many of these coins may have passed through hundreds of transactions, entirely unrecognized for their rarity. Some may have been stored for decades in coin rolls, others forgotten in change jars. The moment one is examined carefully is the moment its story emerges. Collectors often share images, research notes, and detailed observations to identify these rare examples. What seems like a minor irregularity under casual inspection can become a defining characteristic under careful scrutiny. The excitement comes from both discovery and verification, knowing that such coins are few and far between. Even the smallest scratch or smudge can affect the desirability of a 1998 D penny. That is why pristine examples, with every detail intact, are treasured. They represent not only rarity but also the coin's journey and survival through decades of handling and circulation. When a confirmed 1998 D penny with this rare double die error is discovered in outstanding condition, it immediately attracts attention from collectors. The combination of scarcity, condition, and historical intrigue makes it a coin that can command incredible interest. The excitement comes not just from the coin's age, but from the story it tells and the rarity of its flawless preservation. And now we reach the moment that truly sets this penny apart. A top-grade 1998 D Lincoln cent with the rare double die error, surviving in exceptional condition, has been known to reach a value of $45,000 in the collector community. This remarkable coin proves that even modern pennies, often dismissed as everyday change, can carry extraordinary surprises. It is a reminder that careful observation, patience, and knowledge can transform what seems ordinary into something truly extraordinary, a small piece of history hidden in plain sight. Each of these pennies is more than metal, it is a story, a rare anomaly, and a testament to the fascinating world of coin collecting. In the last, we come to a penny from 2003, a coin that, at first glance, might appear completely ordinary. It's the type of penny that passes unnoticed in daily life, jingling in pockets, left in drawers, or buried in jars with countless other coins. Its copper color, small size, and familiar Lincoln design make it easy to overlook. Yet, hidden among the millions produced that year is a rarity that has quietly fascinated collectors, transforming a common coin into a remarkable piece of numismatic history. The 2003 penny carries the familiar Lincoln profile on the obverse, and the Lincoln Memorial on the reverse, a design that had been a staple of U.S. coinage for decades. There were no design changes announced, no public attention, no hints that some of these pennies would become so extraordinary. To most people, 2003 was just another year, another routine production run at the mint. But as is often the case in the world of coins, rarity and intrigue are sometimes hidden in the most ordinary places. What makes this penny truly special is a subtle minting anomaly that went unnoticed for years. Unlike more obvious errors, this one is nearly invisible without careful inspection. It often appears as faint doubling in certain inscriptions, such as Liberty or In God We Trust, and occasionally affects the placement or shape of the date. The differences are minute, slight, almost imperceptible shifts in lettering or tiny inconsistencies in the strike, yet for collectors who know what to look for, these characteristics are unmistakable. For a long time, these pennies circulated unnoticed. Millions passed through hands in grocery stores, vending machines, and banks, never receiving more than a passing glance. Some were stored in rolls or jars, while others were carried in pockets, rubbed against other coins, and slowly aged. Few people realized that these seemingly ordinary pieces of change contained a hidden story of rarity and careful minting anomalies. The discovery of this rare 2003 penny came when meticulous collectors began examining batches with magnifying lenses and comparing details against known standards. Every subtle line, every faint doubling, and every unusual alignment became a clue. Specialists measured the coins, analyzed the strike, and carefully documented each feature, confirming that these anomalies were not random imperfections but genuine minting variations that had survived decades in circulation. Condition is another crucial factor that elevates these pennies from curiosity to collector treasure. Many coins from 2003 show the expected signs of wear, scratches, discoloration, and flattened details from daily use. However, those that have been preserved with minimal handling, retaining their original mint luster, crisp edges, and sharp details, are exceedingly rare. A 2003 penny in top condition becomes much more than a simple coin. It is a well-preserved artifact of modern minting history. Collectors prize these coins not just for the error itself, but for the story each one tells. These pennies survive chance encounters with pocket change, cash registers, and coin jars, retaining the subtle characteristics that distinguish them from ordinary pennies. They are a testament to luck, timing, and careful preservation, embodying a connection between the mint's production and the coin's journey through decades of everyday life. Interest in these rare 2003 pennies has grown steadily as collectors recognize both their scarcity and subtle beauty. Each example demands close attention. A slight doubling of a letter, a minor shift in the date, or an unusual strike can instantly transform an otherwise ordinary coin into an object of fascination. The hunt for these pennies is as much about the thrill of discovery as it is about the coin itself, illustrating the depth of dedication within the collecting community. Even the smallest irregularities can hold immense significance. A penny with a minor misalignment or faint doubling may seem insignificant at first, but in the hands of an experienced collector, it becomes a rare gem. These small anomalies distinguish the remarkable from the mundane, revealing hidden histories and making the process of identification a careful, deliberate practice. And now we come to the moment that elevates this penny from unnoticed pocket change to numismatic legend. A confirmed 2003 Lincoln cent with this rare minting anomaly, preserved in outstanding condition, has been known to command a value of $32,000 among collectors. This remarkable coin is proof that even in the modern era, where millions of pennies are minted every year, extraordinary discoveries are still possible. It demonstrates how careful observation, patience, and knowledge can transform what seems ordinary into something truly extraordinary. What appears to be a simple coin can hold a hidden story, a rare anomaly, and decades of survival, a small piece of history quietly waiting to be recognized. The 2003 penny reminds collectors that numismatic treasures are not limited to ancient coins or rare precious metals. Even the most common, everyday coin can surprise you, teaching a lesson about the value of curiosity, attention to detail, and the thrill of uncovering something hidden. In the world of coin collecting, sometimes the smallest discoveries make the biggest impact. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed discovering these rare pennies, like this video and subscribe to the channel. Turn on notifications so you won't miss any future coin discoveries. Who knows, the next treasure could be in your pocket. Keep exploring, stay curious, and remember, even the smallest coins can hide the biggest surprises.